Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hit Cricket, your source for cricket analysis, commentary, and fun. Today, I'm joined by Rahul and Dhruvan. Dhruvan is a massive Rajasthan fan, so we brought him in for the Rajasthan video for the IPL auction this year. So we're going to first start by talking about the retained players, and boy, is there some controversy. They were met with a massive backlash after these retentions, and I'm sure Dhruvan has a lot to say about that. But let's start with the one that
Yeah, just
shouldn't
noted this is
really.
the only time Dhruvan's gonna be smiling throughout the recording.
Yeah, he has a lot to say.
Uh,
There's no
you
mistaking it.
gotta,
But yeah, go on.
nah, I'm gonna become a channel favorite of yours, bro. Trust me. People are gonna love me.
Hey, you heard it here first. But let's talk about Sanju Samson, uh, the captain of Rajasthan. I mean, he had an exceptional season in the IPL last year, hitting over 500 runs for the first time in his IPL career, 550s. And just recently, he had an explosive century
Mhm.
for India. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the retention for 18 crores?
All right, Raul, you go first. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, he's the marquee player of the franchise. He's the basic brand of the franchise, and the way he's been playing over the last couple of years for RR, he's brought in that consistency along with the skill. You know, a lot of people criticize Sanju Samson because he has all the skill in the world, but he doesn't perform on a consistent basis. But I think over the last couple of years, he started showing that consistency by having consistent, I think, 400 plus run seasons. Last year was a really good season for him with the bat, and he's a good captain as well. He's holds his nerves in pressure situations, and he's led Rajasthan well over the last couple 3 years. And for India, I mean, he's been magnificent over the past month. You know, 3 centuries across like 5 6 games has been phenomenal, and they've given him that opening slot and he's owned it completely. And you know, he's just one of those explosive batters who also has the gift of timing. So I think it's a no-brainer for 18 crores, and he's a wicket keeper, captain, batter all in
Mhm.
once. No-brainer.
So, I have nothing but good things to say about Sanju, dude. He is the franchise player. He's like the franchise quarterback, franchise running back, all wrapped into one. Without him, there isn't Rajasthan Royals. But the main argument the Sanju haters are making nowadays is that when he's given this opportunity for like he can perform all he wants in the IPL, right? But when he's given this opportunity for India, the ICT, he doesn't do anything. But he's proved them wrong very recently, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
He's the world record holder for the what does it say hundreds first place in the hundreds in the consecutive innings. Only in the ICT player to ever do that, right? Back to back T20 innings, he's done that. So people who are saying he can't play T20, he can't play ODI, for ICT, he's just proving them wrong back to back. So now, he's been left out of the BGT, which is going on right now. But I still feel like he should have been given the test spot over like someone like Dhruv Jurel. Oh, we'll get to that guy in a minute. Just let's just let's just wait off on Dhruv Jurel. We'll get to it. So yeah, Sanju Samson, no brainer. I would have 100% paid 18 crore. 18 crore, I 100% understand. Maybe a little less if they had like, saved a spot or two, but we'll get to that in a
Nah,
minute.
bro,
But
you're not
Sanju
getting 18 crores worth it.
18 crores, I understand for Sanju, right? No one else is worth 18 crores other than our marquee like star player. Other than him, like there's no team around him. He's the best captain Rajasthan has seen since like Watson. Like Watson was still a good captain, but like he sometimes was iffy in the iffy when playing. But Sanju Samson's captaincy is really good. Like 3 years, he's gotten them at least to like fifth place or like playoffs. So I have no problems with Sanju Samson's retention. But
Mhm. All right. Next player is Yashasvi Jaiswal for 18 crores. And I mean, what is there to say about him? He's an incredible talent. He followed up a really good 2023 season with the 600 runs, with a season of 400 runs last year. And he had a great century in there as well. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this retention of Jaiswal for 18 crores?
so I'm gonna go first on this. So as we speak right now, the BGT is going on, and he's at
Hmm.
95 runs from 200 balls. So as we speak, he could hit his like sixth or seventh century in like Test cricket this calendar year. So that literally that's all we need to say for Jaiswal, because the thing is that he's playing at a level where he can sustain himself in Test and white ball, like red ball and white ball cricket. like
Mhm.
perfectly. He's a good power play hitter. And the last season he wasn't that great with Josh Buttler being out of form and stuff. So he did get the odd century or two in last season, last IPL season, but this dude is consistent. I still wouldn't pay 18 crore for him, which is unbelievably outrageous. I don't know why 18 crore was spent on this guy. Anywhere from like
Uh,
12 to 14, I would have been fine, right? But here's the thing. That's me making the decisions. The management team for our Rajasthan Royals need to get their head checked, because what's coming after Yashasvi Jaiswal is like it's
bro.
unbelievably just not smart at all. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, this guy can bat, right? We know this guy can bat, and he's also really good in the field. So 18 crores, I wouldn't pay that much, but yeah, good
Okay,
retention.
we'll get to the other guys after, but I mean, bro, Jaiswal is worth the deal, man.
No,
18
100
crores, he's worth
18 for
he's
Jaiswal?
worth 18 crores. Bro, tell me other Indian batters who are as talented and as consistent as
Oh
him
yeah, no, I
currently.
agree. I fully agree. He's the best Indian young talent in the world right now. I think he's the best young talent in the world right now. Period.
I
I
mean,
don't
all
think
the
there's any.
CSK fans will harp on about Ruturaj Gaikwad not getting a chance
No,
and all that stuff, but I
no.
mean, Jaiswal is a different beast, man. Like, when he was initially bought by Rajasthan for I think 4 crores, at that time itself, I was really in on him just because I think he had a double hundred for Mumbai in an ODI match before that, and he was performing consistently in like the Vijay Hazare Trophy and all that. And I was
Yeah,
really in on him and really wanted him on RCB as well, but unfortunately couldn't happen. But I'm really happy the way he's turned into such a big star for both Rajasthan Royals
yeah.
and India. I mean, the way he plays is just so exciting and just takes on the bowlers from the get-go and can build long innings as well. I still remember that one innings he played against Mumbai Indians. I don't know if it was last year or the year
Mm,
before, like
mm.
124 odd runs. It was a
Yeah,
magnificent knock. And,
yeah.
he's just a fascinating player. I think 18 crores is every cent is worth for him. He's
Yeah,
absolute
no, okay.
superstar in the
Yeah,
making.
I mean, if you put it like that, I fully understand, because this dude has been so unbelievably consistent. Like, yeah, like 2024 season, he was a bit off because his other opener was just not on top of his game, right? It's Josh Buttler. Like, he's probably arguably top five greatest white ball players in recent years. So it was him and like Jaiswal opening, and Jaiswal still held his nerve. He was still young, a little bit inexperienced in terms of IPL, right? So being given that opener spot, he still opened up a lot, in terms of his confidence. So I do agree with you in saying that 18 cores looks like a very good price to pay for him. But
Yeah.
then you look at the rest of where the money goes, and then you find out why you wouldn't spend 18 crores on it. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, so far, yeah. So far,
Yeah.
two retentions I'm 100% on board with.
Yeah, and
100%
I
on
also
board.
think the test exposure he's got would make him a better
Yeah.
player in general as well in
Mhm.
handling pressure even in a better fashion. So yeah, I think worth the money.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Next up is Rian Parag. After a really good at domestic season, he finally had his IPL breakout, scoring over 570 runs, and he seemed very consistent throughout the season. He can bowl a little bit as well. He didn't do much of that last year, but what are you guys' thoughts for 14 crores, Rian Parag?
Go ahead, Rahul.
I
I'll
think it's a
pull up
good
the statistic.
retention. I think it's a good retention for 14 crores because I mean you've trusted him for 5 years. 5 years you've trusted him. He's given nothing, and would you release him really after he finally breaks out? It's like uh yeah, it's like you're waiting to get a child, and then after a long time it finally happens. Would you throw it away? No. So I know it's not the best comparison, but essentially I
I
think his skill set itself is something which warrants attention in my opinion. Can bat at number four, and we saw him rescue Rajasthan out of a lot of tricky situations, and
yeah.
also up the ante later on when it was needed to get those quick fire runs at the back end as well. And he's a stunning fielder. It takes he's one guy who makes catches look as easy as it can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
Mm.
yeah, and uh, as long as he plays good, I like his attitude. I like you know, his attitude, that nonchalant attitude, like he can accomplish anything. It might have looked bad and it was backfiring when he wasn't performing, but when he's performing, it's fine. It's all fine when he's
Yeah.
performing. And as Sean mentioned, his bowling side is there. He didn't do that much with the ball, but in the chances he got for India, he did bowl in the T20 uh, uh, games he played, and he bowled in the ODI games in Sri Lanka as well. So that side of him is being more tapped into as well. So considering he has age on his side as well, I think he's only like 23. I think it's definitely worth 14 crores for him. Like if you let him out into the auction, he might get that much or maybe a bit more too.
14, I wouldn't say he would go for 14. Somewhere between the 10 to 12 range, 100%, because there's like so many other marquee batters in the auction. We'll get to those. But I'm looking at his all of his years at IPL, right? So let's see. 2019 he debuted, 160 runs, not bad for like a debutant, right? And then next year 86. He was given 12 matches, right? So 12 matches he scored 86 runs. Next 2021 he had 11 matches, 93. 2022, he played all matches, including the final, and he scored 183 runs. And 2023, he only played 7 matches. So it's the inconsistencies there. As you can see, there's a lot of inconsistency with this batting, right? He is not a bowler at all. I would not put him as an all-rounder at all because he's had some shocking overs as a bowler. I've watched his gameplay. I watched his his bowling it's just not up to speed. But 2024, 573 runs, fantastic, right? But he's wasted 5 years. Not waste. I wouldn't say wasted, but like he's used up 5 years of his tenure at Rajasthan, and he scored less than he scored last year. So
Isn't that good?
I understand why they said wait trust the process with this guy. I fully get that. But the most inconvenient thing about this is during a mega auction. So the fact that they paid how much 14 crores for this guy, 14 to retain him, and let's say he goes back to being inconsistent next season. That's another 14 crores down the drain that we could have 100% used at the auction. So I'm saying it's too little too late in terms of his breakout season last season, but I do think why if he was in the auction, he'd be one of the most targeted domestic players out there. But I still think it's a too little too late. I still love him, right? Because like 2023, 2022 was pissing me off with his attitude. Like his nonchalance and like his not giving a crap attitude in the field was absolutely getting on my nerves because he costed matches, right? He started sledging the tenured international bowlers. I'm like, dude, come just bad, dude. You're 5 runs from 8 balls. What are you doing sledging them? Just bad. And then he gets out the next ball. So I'm saying, his attitude has been, kept in check this last season, which I like to see. And he made some important catches. He scored 573 runs. He was the best batter on the lineup. Imagine that. Saying that over Yashasvi Jaiswal and Buttler, him being the best batter on the lineup, it's kind of a major accomplishment. So I think, yes, it was a good retention, just not 14 crores worth of retention. That's the only thing I would say.
I don't
Anything
think
from...
Yeah, you can go on.
What's up?
No, I don't think he's gonna
I was gonna say
regress, though,
14.
man. Like he's not gonna go back to
know.
being how he was before. I think he's just a changed player in general because he came in with a really good domestic season around him as well, and bowled a lot for his team, and also had stellar numbers coming into the IPL. So I think that confidence just carried him through as well. So I think he has that confidence on his side, which he was lacking. So I think he's just a changed player. He's gonna give you probably not 570 runs in a season at number 4, but he's gonna be a consistent 400, 420 run bank, striking around 150, 160 on a consistent basis every year. So I don't think the worry about him going back to how he was before should be there.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Now,
wait, I'm gonna interrupt. I'm gonna tell you this. Yashasvi Jaiswal just got his like 6th century in Test cricket. He just hit it. Guess how he did it. He hit a 6. He hit a 6 off of Mitchell Stark.
Oh, Hazelwood.
Crazy.
Hazelwood.
No,
right?
oh, I'm sorry, Hazelwood. Yeah, my bad, Hazelwood. That's crazy.
What a player he is.
I mean, who does that,
What
man?
a talent. I mean, he just has that attitude of just like I'm gonna take on any bowler in the world, and that's I love that, and I love him a lot. Like I loved him since he came into the league, and I'm so happy for him that he's stamping his authority in world cricket right now as one of the most talented batters out there.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're gonna talk about somebody who might cause a little frustration here, but Dhruv Jurel for 14 crores. Bats at number 5 for Rajasthan. He had 250s last year, but was it worth the 14 crores that they retained him for? What do you guys think?
You go first. I want to hear this.
Yeah, no, I don't think you want me to go first. I want you to get it out of your system. You go first, and then I'll get.
I mean, I'm not a Rajasthan Royals fan. I don't got anything. It just helps.
You know what? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Let's see. If you go on Google and you go to Reddit and then you Google Dhruv Jurel, you will find nothing but hate. If you Google Rajasthan Royals, you will find nothing but hate. And this is the main reason why. and I hate it. Right, I'm a Rajasthan Royals fan, and this might go down as the worst retention in IPL history for two reasons. His two main jobs is he's a wicketkeeper batter, right? He's playing the BGT right now. He's in the match right now. Let's say he comes down the line and he's the complete opposite. He does really good for the ICT, and then he comes to the IPL and he doesn't do anything. All right, last season, yes, I will hand it to you. Last season he did his job as number in a 6 in a 5. But let me pull up how many runs do you guys have the numbers? How many runs he had last season?
195.
195. Okay, batting at what 6? Batting at 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not impressive. We can agree that it's not the most impressive from a player who's been in the IPL for, well, yeah, 2 years. I fully understand, right? He's been consistent, 152 in 2023 and 195 in 2024. So I understand why they saw it's gonna be, he can only go up from here. I get that, but paying 14 crores for him, that is a big chunk of money from our retention money. That's a big chunk, right? We had the likes of Yuzi Chahal, Ashwin, Bolt, Butler, and Ravan Powell. Ravan Powell is negligible, but we had those four marquee players, right? Three of them are gonna be in the top three sets at the auction, so they're gonna be other ones up for. Josh Butler is the first player on the auction block. So we know the importance that this man holds. He's gonna go for anywhere upwards to 18 or more crores, right? So we know he's the best white ball batter in recent years. We know that, but they let him go. They retained Jarrell instead. Um, I don't understand. I mean I can't even begin to articulate what the thought process was, because I don't think there was a thought process behind this. Because when I saw this, I read through. I was like 18, 18, 14, 14 for Dhruv Jurel. I was appalled, because it doesn't even begin to make sense why they would invest so much money on a batter so juvenile. Because I understand that he's getting his chances with the ICT, right? Hell, he's playing in the BGT trophy. Like that's the BGT is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, rivalry in like Test cricket, right? It's up there with the Ashes. So I fully understand why he's like being held in high regards. But if his only if he can only sustain playing in Test cricket, some players like Jimmy Anderson can sustain playing Test cricket more than he can ODIs or white ball cricket in general. We saw that, but now apparently Jimmy Anderson is entering the auction. So things are changing. So I fully understand why uh why Jarrell looks like a good candidate to retain, but I do not understand why they did that, because there are three or four more players that I would retain over him. If we're looking at the list right now, each and every team has a list of players they retain. It's very balanced, right? Like Gujarat Titans has Rashid Khan, marquee player, right? He's the face of the franchise at this point. It would have been Shubman Gill, but like Rashid Khan performed better than Shubman Gill. So like all these teams have more balanced, retention lists than we do. But Dhruv Jurel doesn't even begin to make an inkling of a sense as to why any team would retain this guy. I don't care if he had 500. He's just not consistent. He doesn't do what he needs to do. And his other second role is as a wicketkeeper, which he's never going to usurp from, Sanju Samson. So it's him being a fielder and batter. So there's not a lot of contribution in terms of that. And he's a very shady with the bat too. So I don't think in you can ask ChatGPT to do this, but even it cannot explain to me as a 5-year-old why this was a good retention. Ask why Dhruv Jurel was a good retention. Explain to me. I'm like a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old would not understand why this was a good retention, because it doesn't make sense. There's no world in which this makes sense, because he's just not worth it. I just don't think he's worth that much. It doesn't even begin to make sense. I'm done for now. I'm done for now. Go ahead.
That's a good rant. I mean, I think our fans will agree with you. I completely agree with you. There's so many other players who could have been retained ahead of him, and I think his batting is good. I think he's a good batter. But like you said, considering his other main skill, which is wicket keeping, won't ever be used, considering Sanju Samson is already the wicket keeper there. There's no point holding a proper number 5, number 6 batter who gets max 15, 20 balls in an innings for 14 crores. And there's another guy competing with him for who is the worst retention in IPL history, in Shimron Hetmyer. But we'll get to him next. I think it's a very like tough competition between those two for the worst retention. But as far as Drill is concerned, I still think I highly rate him as a batter. I think he's a good batter.
Mhm.
But considering you've not used him at like number 3 or number 4. Used him mainly number 5, number 6 to finish the innings. I don't see him making an impact that's worth 14 crores. Like, I don't see him winning you many games at the position you have him for. And there's a lot more specialists. Like, there's other finishers you can get for cheaper. And even if you put Jurel back in the auction, he's not crossing 6, 7 crores. He hasn't had that level of impact for Rajasthan Royals where he's taken the IPL by storm. So yeah, absolutely agree with you. It's a shocking retention.
Because like the way that he played, he had one breakout, one good game, which was against the Super Lucknow Super Giants, and I was like, okay, this guy can bat. And then the literal next game, he showed me why he cannot bat. Okay, so the bipolarity of this guy makes me question him as a player, and like the choices the Rajasthan Royals management is making, like. I mean, come on. What do you think? I understand. Look, because if you look at this list, they stacked up on 4 batters,
Yeah,
one bowler.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 batters.
Five
Matter of fact,
batters.
5
Five
batters.
batters.
They went with 5
Five
batters.
batters.
If they pick up one more batter in the auction, I am genuinely going to fly to Riyadh and do some unspeakable acts at this auction because that is your top order done. Sanju, Yashasvi, maybe pick up an opener, pick up a Harry Brook or something, right? Opener with Jaiswal, Sanju in at 3, Rihanna 4, Jurel at 5, Hetmyer at 6. That's it. That's all we need to bet. If they can't get it done, give it up, bro. Just lose out. Try to get the first pick in the next. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do. Just lose out for the rest of the season and just disband the whole team. Get rid of it. Because if you stacked on 5 batters and one bowler, we'll get to the bowler in a minute. But out of all the bowlers they had, they picked this one. Oh my God, Donnie. Okay, so 5 batters they've stacked. And if those 5 players don't start every single game and don't perform to the best of their abilities, it's gonna be pandemonium. I'm gonna be irate because this doesn't even begin to make sense. 14 crores, I better see a 14 crore level worth performance. I will be comparing every batter that goes for 14 or lower. If they do better than this guy, it's over for Rajasthan Royals. It's over, dude. I'm done.
I don't know if you'll get the opportunity to perform how 14 crore players should perform, but we'll see.
Yeah, but
Yeah. All right. And as Rahul mentioned it briefly, it gets worse. Shimron Hetmyer at 11 crores easily would have gone less than that in the auction.
Easily. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did not
100%.
do that much in the IPL last year. I remember he won them one game, I think. But
One game.
yeah, but hit 113 runs.
No, okay. He
I don't know.
did
Jasim and Jile apne
fantastic.
zindagi.
No. He did fantastic in the 2023 and the 2022 season, right? He was good. He won them the KKR game where he won like a couple of really big ones, right? So I understand he's like a Nicholas Porter type hitter. But at six,
No.
listen, hear me. Like he's got the same like batting style as Nicholas Porter. Like anything that's in the slot, it's gonna go. But sometimes he can mistime that. Or not sometimes, most of the time he mistimes it. But when he connects that first 6, it's lights out from there. He will hit everything. 11 crores, not even close. 5 crores, 4 crores, maybe if that, right? But they needed a finisher. This is the best one on the market, right? We have Andre Russell as a finisher, Nicholas Puran as a finisher. Both of them are gone. It's only West Indians that can finish apparently in this league. So, considering all the West Indians, he's probably the 3rd or 4th best option out of all the finishers that are like in at 6 and at 7, right? And another thing, Russell can bowl. Nicky P can wicket keep. He can't do either. So he doesn't help us with anything. He's a fielder, right? Great, good. He's a good fielder, fantastic fielder. I'll give you that. 11 crores worth? Absolutely not. I would not even pay 5 for him. I mean, if realistically, I would pay less than 3. I mean. Back-to-back absolute bangers of retentions in Rajasthan Royals. I mean, I went down the line. I'm like, Riyan Parag 14 questionable, and then these 2 flashbanged my eyes, and I could not see for the rest of the day, man. I could not see anything. I was just that was just ingrained in my eyeballs. I'm like, what is going on right now? What are they thinking? They blew their entire budget. Here's the funny part: they blew their entire budget. Okay, after Sandeep Sharma is covered, I'll tell you what I mean. Oh my God. Let's continue.
I mean, but thing is, the fact they thought Dhruv Jurel and Hetmyer for 25 crores is more valuable than 2 RTMs where you can get both Chahal and all those guys is the beauty of this retention, in my opinion. I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna
Shimron
be
Hetmyer, I
100%.
guess it's 11 crores for lifting the mood in the camp, just
Dude.
because I think he smiles a lot, makes people happy
sure.
in that
Great.
regard.
You pay me 25 crores. I'll make everybody smile. It's not that like, I can do that. All right, I can make y'all smile. What I'm saying is 25 crores in Bolt or Yuzi. Either one of them will go for 100% sure they'll go for under 25, right? We know this. The only no players ever cost 25 crores in the auction. 24.75 was Stark last auction, the most expensive in history. But okay, I'm getting sidetracked. What I'm saying is I don't think anyone in the R management team knew what an RTM was. They had just as much knowledge as a normal IPL fan in terms of what an RTM is.
Nah,
Because
bro,
they're
an
like,
IPL fan probably had more knowledge on
they
what an
probably would
RTM
have more knowledge at this point because they're like, "What is an RTM? Oh, that's just like a random acronym. We don't even know about it. That's fine. Let's see who we're gonna retain. 6 retentions. Let's go crazy. What?
No,
What?
at least do the 6 retentions properly is my point. Like,
At least retain one international player was retained, man, and that's why the worst international player in the camp, dog. What do you mean Shimron Hetmyer? I think Revamp Powell would have had a better outcome because he has a captain mind.
you would have paid Rahman Powell 11 crores?
No, not 11 crore. I'm just saying he has a captain's mind. Like he's the West Indian captain, right? Like so at least he has the same mentality as Sanju Samson. So they could have made each other better in terms of captaincy. But they picked Shimron Hetmyer out of everyone in the camp. We had Trent Bolt, easily the greatest power play bowler of all time. I'll die on that. Y'all can debate me on that later. But Trent Bolt, we had Josh Butler. Oh my God, Josh Butler. Come on. What do you mean? One stinker season you're gonna drop him? Like what does
He
that
didn't even
mean?
have a stinker season.
He didn't have a stinker season. He scored the game-winning century against KKR. I mean, who does that?
That was incredible. Yeah.
That was the greatest white ball innings, one of the greatest white ball innings I've ever seen. It's up there. Like it's got. I don't care. I don't care if it was on on a road pitch. Like it was what was it? Eden Gardens, right? So it's not the best pitch. It's very suited for batters. Narayan proved that in the first innings, and then Josh Butler just did it better. So there's so many shady choices they made, and I'm still 100% convinced they don't know what RTMs are. If I go ask them right now, they don't know what RTMs are. I have commented on their Instagrams and tweeted at them, "What is an RTM? Can you explain that to me?"
The right to mess up.
Because what do you mean, dog? What do you mean you didn't retain and like you didn't even ask for an RTM? Like save one person. If they could have gotten both in the RTM, this would have made it all worth it. Or Butler, this would have made it all worth it. The two shady retentions would have made it all worth it. 100%.
Yeah, and the next one is Sandeep Sharma, who we previously mentioned before, but it's only for 4 crores. He had a pretty decent season for Rajasthan last year, a little bit of a resurgence. So,
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on this retention?
I think it's fine for 4 crores. I think it's a good deal for Sandeep Sharma because we've seen him bowl at the death, and that over against CSK, I think it was 2 years back against Dhoni and Jadeja. He sealed a victory with some amazing Yorkers at the death. So he's been known as a death bowler for RR, but he also has the skills in the power play. Although he's not been used with Trent Bolt being an RR for all this time, he has the skills in the power play. He's taken out Virat Kohli so many times in the power play. So he has those skills in him, although it's kind of buried. But yeah, I feel that you're getting a quality Indian death bowler for an uncapped player's price of 4 crores. I think it's worth it. I think it's fine.
Right. So the disrespectful part about this is I would 100% paid 14 crores for Sandeep Sharma. No one would have. That's out of my mind. But they paid it for Dhruv Jurel, which is absolutely and it's just a number on a screen at this point, right? We just know where the money is gone. It's gone behind these players, right? You can interchange the money wherever you want. But the fact that they paid 14 in the name of Dhruv Jurel and 4 for Sandeep Sharma, a veteran of the league. This man is still performing at a high level. He was out for most of the first half of the season because of an injury. Nandre Berger was bowling instead of him. Fantastic bowler, by the way. Let's get to Nandre in a second. But Sandeep Sharma, when he came back, he picked up a 5-4 against Mumbai Indians, right? The same game where Jaiswal scored a century. Picked up a 5-4 against Mumbai Indians. He picked up a 3-wicket haul against the LSG, bowling in the power play. He picked up 2 in the power play, one in the death. So he's consistent when it comes to playing both sides of the ball, right? Playing in the power play, playing in the death overs. He can do it both. But consistently, most of the time he's known as the death bowler. We know this. We've seen him with SRH. We saw him, I think, in Punjab Kings as well. He's been very good at the death. And those were his young glory days, right? Now he's become a bit of a veteran. He's not gotten as many chances as on the ICT, and he's uncapped, right? He's been uncapped for a while. So paying 4 crores for him is fully understandable. I get that, but then you go to the left and you see the 14 for Dhruv Jurel, and it just pisses you off even more. Because I mean, what do you mean a veteran of the league who has performed consistently year by year is getting paid 10 less than Dhruv Jurel, who's only been in the league for 2 years? I mean, it just doesn't begin to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
That should be everything for the Rajasthan retentions. So overall, there's a negative sentiment, but we'll talk about the released
I don't think
players
there's an
in a minute.
iota of positive sentiment, dog. There's nothing positive about this retention. There's nothing going on. They have
Yeah,
nothing
they-
going on.
Sanju Samson and Jaiswal.
Yeah, those ones are there. Those are
Yeah,
good ones.
they're there.
Can't complain there.
I
But
for a fact I know that Jaiswal texted Sanju, what the hell are these other retentions? What are we doing? Why did they retain these guys? Who asked for them? Like, dude, it's so crazy.
yeah, we'll take a look at the players that they released rather than these couple ones here.
Now,
But
okay, you know what? Before we go, I want to talk about the most perfect retentions I've ever seen from a team, right? Mumbai Indians retained the 5 most perfect players you can ever name on that franchise right now. They retain them all, other than Hardik Pandya, which is debatable. But his the T20 World Cup performance makes up for it 100%. I'll give it to you. Right, Mumbai Indians. I will give it to RCB. RCB needed a revamp anyways. They needed to rebuild the whole thing, so I fully understand. Yash Daya, I would have not retained with a 10-foot pole if you gave it to me. Keep that guy out of my team.
uncapped player, man.
Keep that guy out of my team. Though. I don't want it.
Yo, chill. What do you mean?
21. Oh, I keep forgetting you're
5
RCB.
crores. 5 crores.
5 crores, fine. Yeah, fine. He's uncapped too, which is good. Virat Kohli 21, 100% understand. Patidar understood. I would have honestly retained Faf
Oh,
or
hell no, bro. He's old.
dude. He's a
RTM
really
him
good
for
batter.
less. You can
No,
RTM
no, no.
him
Don't
for
give
less.
him captaincy. I'm not talking about captaincy. I'm talking about he's a really good batter. He's still
I'm
a
saying
really
you
good
can
batter.
RTM him for like 4 or 5 crores. Why would you pay 14 or 11?
Yeah, okay. And then Delhi is okay. KKR, perfect retention list. Other than Ramandeep Singh, perfect retention list.
Ramandeep is good, bro. Come on. He's
Ramandeep
been so
is good,
good
but
at the bat.
I would still hold him and Harshit Rana at the same level. Like they're just equally good. And Harshit Rana is playing in the BGT right now, so it depends on who gets the chances. LSG made a questionable pick with Mayank Yadav. I don't know if y'all gone to that guy yet, but Mr. Injury,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mr. Injury is he's very questionable on that team. So Nikki P taking captaincy, fantastic choice. 100% agree with that. No, Pooran is one of the most perfect captains I've seen. Literally played the game. It's not even close. And then we have Hyderabad with the best retention list ever. 4 batters, 1 captain, one arguably the greatest captain in white ball cricket right now. And that's it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. 23 crore for Heinrich. I think 100% worth it. I would have flipped him and Travis actually. I would have paid 14 for Heinrich and 23 for Travis. That's just me though. But everything else is making sense. And then Punjab Kings. Have y'all gone to Punjab Kings yet?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
already did.
Oh, you already
I
covered
mean,
it. Okay.
Is that even a retention list? That's not even a list.
They're paying 9.5 crore for 2 players. That's it. They're not retaining anybody.
Nah, bro, I'm excited to see what they do in the marquee set. They're just
Oh,
gonna
dude, they're
lift the
gonna go
paddles for
crazy.
everyone.
we'll catch you guys in the next video for that.